How's it going, guys? Gonna do a quick scan real quick. We're gonna go through the setups that I talked about yesterday and Monday scan, and then we're gonna introduce maybe some new ones. Let's start with pulling up QQQ and see how. All right, I wasn't around for the second half of the day, so okay. So it looks like QQQ is uh, inches away from all-time highs. SPY, same thing. Strong hammers. I'm guessing volume was low, a little bit less than average volume. Probably gonna have. I'm not sure. Is tomorrow a short day? Not too sure about that. But Thursday is either a short day or it's gonna be market close. So we're gonna have to keep that into the back of our minds when we're thinking about introducing new plays and having to deal with volume and all that. So for starters, let's go through our setups from yesterday. We had Riot. As I said yesterday, this isn't set up I'm looking to play yet. Mara, I want to say Bitcoin was rejecting off the 20 EMA. Mara, I mean, you can get a nice pullback there. I think that's still a great play. Um, that's typically how I like to play them. You got back at this resistance at 22.5. This has been a pretty reliable resistance in the past, so same thing, with Riot, you're going to get those pullbacks, and I don't mind off support there. SoFi, we talked about this one with this bear flag, and it was looking really good early on, and then it looked like it kind of wicked back. So for me, I'm probably not going to play this. It's still within, I would say, breakdown territory of is it could easily retest. So let's see what the volume we were at today. A little bit less than average volume, but still higher than it seems like it has been in the past couple of weeks. But we're going to keep that on the back burner for now. Bank of America, that one worked perfectly. We talked about this one above 40 resistance and looks like it was up 2.3% today. Marvel, love this one. Higher lows. Looks like it came up towards the end of the day. Kind of an ugly hourly pattern here. So this is going to be I feel like this one will definitely start running here soon. Weekly is nice and consolidated. Chips are doing pretty good. TME, same thing. This one is looking really good. I'm gonna have to. I have a position here. I'm not really sure how liquid the option chain is on that though, so I'll have to take another look. Looks like it was a pretty low volume day, but really like that setup. UNH, we talked about how we needed a kind of a bigger bullish candle here to look like it was retesting. Not going to touch that one yet. Not really interested. RYV, I'm going to go ahead and remove this just because this is going to be something we're going to be looking at not for anytime soon. T-Mobile, it moved nicely. It was what we were talking about, but I'm not interested in anything yet. XLI, we were talking about a breakdown here. We ended up getting a hammer, which is no big deal. Our trigger didn't hit, so we didn't have any play on it. TXN started to break out today. That was a clean one on the hourly. You could have taken this one on an hourly trend line break. Usually what I'll do is I'll pull up the 5-minute on that, and you can see right after the open, we kind of retested that and ran. So that worked out perfectly, just how we wanted it to. I'll keep it on there just for now so we can watch as that one continues to break out. Kava is still within our breakout category. You can see it's kind of been riding this 20 EMA right here, right below this resistance at 95, or we'll say 96. So on lower volume too. So once we get that high volume breakout is what we're going to be looking to do. TDT, I'm really liking this one. We got some lower highs on the daily. Once again, just following that 20 EMA, super consolidated. This one looks like it's getting ready for a move. Cores, like the way this one moved today. The hourly is looking pretty good. We're right at resistance at 10.45, which is the all-time high resistance. So, we could reject here tomorrow, but I think that unless we get a hard rejection, which is something we could always happen, but unless we get one of those, I like the looks of that. So now that we got those out of the way, we're gonna go ahead, and those are all the plays I talked about in last night's scans. We're gonna go and jump into FinViz here and pull up our screeners for today. Since tech was hot, I'm gonna be looking at mostly tech, and then we're gonna do industrials and healthcare. We're gonna break it down like that. We're gonna set our price at over $5. We're gonna go average volume over 1 million, current volume over 1 million, and you know what? Let's go technology, and yeah, we'll just stick. We have 159, so that's plenty. We'll go to charts here. I'm gonna turn these off, and just for reference, I'm gonna go ahead and sort these by volume, just so I know that I'm dealing with the heavy volume plays first. These are the ones I'm most likely to be playing. Those are the ones that are gonna have the most liquid option chain. So we'll start with these. Let's see what we got in here. AMD had a nice candle today. We kind of talked about this one yesterday. It's definitely got something going on here. It's been consolidating like crazy, but I just don't see any clear setup that I can play. Chips were doing good today. I guess you kind of have this. You sort of if you have that downward trend line, but I think I'm gonna ignore this one still because I don't see anything. It kind of just looks like a lot of chop, but I do like that candle on a little bit higher volume, so that could be a pretty good play if that's kind of your setup. Um, Scores all the way up there in volume. I'm not sure where that name came from. Last night was the first time I've ever seen it pop up on a scan, so I'm super interested in that one. Dell had a nice hammer the other day. That one doesn't look too bad. Shop is going to be a falling wedge-ish setup, which I've been not anymore. Okay, let's pull up this hourly, see what we got here. Yeah, I don't see much. I don't mind the setup though. I mean, you got a nice hammer today. You got a gap above, maybe a cup and handle kind of action here. But I don't really see myself playing that tomorrow, so let's skip that. Seeing some movement with ARM. ARM's another one of those chip plays that you're gonna get what you get with those chip plays. They're all gonna run at once. BTDR. I was looking at that one yesterday. It was another recent IPO play that looked good. TXN. We're playing that right now. MCHP. Jen, that's a nice candle. Lots of pretty strong hammers, but we're going to have to see if we can get follow through tomorrow with the shortened week. Those are definitely tough. Let's check out CFLT. I think this is a minor name. No, I don't know. No clue what this company does. I'll just say that. Bounced off support. I'm gonna add this one to the watch list. I'm probably not gonna play this one tomorrow, but I'm just gonna keep an eye on this. Let's pull up this weekly. That could be something going on there. I liked how it bounced off support today. That old resistance right here at 28, now support. That's a decent inside bar. We'll just keep that. Not gonna play that one tomorrow, but we're gonna add that to the watch list just in case we get any further minutes. PNW, we talked about this one too yesterday. It's not my favorite ticker to play, but you do have these 4 kind of consolidation bars. I don't know if you get a break of this all time at 345. You could probably get a pretty good play out of that. You can kind of see it was right here. It was kind of consolidating the same way. It was rejecting the same resistance. Finally got that break and exploded upward. So, but for me, not going to play that. I typically don't like playing names with gaps above most of the time. No reason in particular. They just FIS. Fidelity National Information Service. I didn't know that was a tech name. I thought Fidelity would more be listed as like a bank. Maybe I'm thinking of a different company. Why not? Let's add it. It's got a while in this wedge, but we might be able to get something there in the future. This WKS is a super interesting one. I'll have to take a look at that weekly again sometime soon. FI, I've tweeted this one out a couple times. I already have it on a watch list, so I'm not going to add it, but I'll go ahead and pull it up just to show you guys what I'm talking about. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you've seen I tweet about this. I had a nice candle today. Yeah, pretty straightforward, really tight wedge. I can see that one breaking out here soon. Semiconductor equipment and material. Let's see what we got here. No. It kind of, you're going to get a move there, but you're not going to get much. Okay. That's probably going to be it for tech, honestly. Let's go. I really like cyclical is when you're going to get kind of like the fun names, what we like to call them. So we talked about Amazon yesterday. That was a candle setup that I liked. That one worked pretty good today. Got a nice breakout. It was above resistance. I didn't play it, but I had a good move up to 200. 200 actually serves a pretty big cycle sword. But Tesla, huge breakout today. It was a pretty straightforward setup on those lower highs. So we're gonna do cyclical, and then let's do industrials off support. CART. I don't know if I talked about this in the video yesterday, but I had this highlighted in my notes today. This setup's starting to really interest me, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna add this one on the watch list. You have these lower highs right here, and I think if you got you got to retest. I think you're safe anywhere above this trend line. You can see this volume setup. So this really high volume bar right here, kind of signaling it bounced off this support. So this old resistance then turns into support right here. And we have some really high volume come off at the bottom. So I actually really like this setup. Let's go ahead and add this one. Add that. eBay, that's a nice hammer. I'm not going to play that one again. I played that recently. Like I said, these are the fun names. Most of these are unprofitable companies. That's why they're cyclical. But they tend to give you the biggest moves because lots of speculation involved. So this scan is typically a top indicator, to be honest. Whenever this scan gets popped up, it's because things are going really well in the market and it's a need for a pullback because these are the last ones to run before you'll get that pullback. So we'll see what happens in this week. We are entering a tougher part of the year, as many of you guys probably know. Fall is not too great for the stock market, but then you set up perfectly for the Santa rally in November, December. Oh, you have the old saying, sell in May and go away, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. I guess we haven't really made too many like brand new fresh highs, but all right, let's head over to, let's do healthcare. I think I said industrials, but we'll do both because this will be pretty quick. Healthcare is hit or miss. I typically only like doing biotech. LOY had a good candle today. You might be able to get something there. They just had an Alzheimer's news drop. Man, I'm not going to play that. That's just those kind of charts that are just straight up. You can play them, but they're not too fun, honestly. You don't get the biggest moves. UNH, we have that one on there. I'm not going to go too far in this healthcare one. ILMNN, no. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably made for healthcare. Let's go to industrials. Yet XLI, the industrials ETF, bouncing off support, so maybe we'll get some moves here. And then once I'm done with this scan, I do have, EMVX broke down today. We talked about this one yesterday. It was one of those where it did have some consolidation, but there really wasn't much. Just had that inside bar. So it looks like that one gave out today. CPRT, I've been tweeting about this one quite a bit. I like this name. Really nice hammer today. I don't know what this selling bar was here for. That was on Friday, but retested this trend line, and then you got a nice bounce with this strong hammer. I like that play just for. I did have some contracts, and then I shredded most of them just because it seemed like we were due for a pullback, especially after that large candle. I sold most, but yeah, I think that those contracts I had for those were in August. Those are going to be a longer out plays. Most of the stuff I'm scanning for right now are going to be shorter. These are mostly going to be just hourly holds or stuff like that because we're not looking for anything too big and we're just looking at a daily chart. IR. Let's just pull up IR, see what we got there. We're only at 13 minutes, so. Yeah. You got something. I don't know. I guess we'll do defensive. Let's see what we got. 58. Walmart. We talked about this one yesterday, and I was talking about how I don't like it because we had McDonald's with that bear flag, but I'm starting to like this one. I think you have that hammer today. You have an inside bar, so I don't mind that. I'm not going to add to the watch list just because I'm not going to play it. It was sort of lower volume, so it's not the greatest setup, but it's definitely it's doing something. MO, no. ADM. This is going to be the last one, and then I'm just going to go through some names that I like. I don't mind that. Archer Daniels. Yeah, we'll add this one. I'll have to check the option chain, but it looks like we could have gone a trend line break here on these lower highs. I just want to pull up the monthly, see what it looks like. That's interesting. Let's pull up the weekly. Let's add ADM. That looks like an interesting one. You have this resistance of these lower highs, and it looks like we got a pretty strong candle today. So we'll add that one. And a couple names that I also want to talk about are Beyond. I really liked Beyond's action today. I think We have this old support, now resistance at 7. Printed a nice hammer today, so I'm going to go ahead and add this one. I think you could possibly get something there to end the week. Let's see. I have some over here. I'll just go ahead and talk about. DApp's a fun one that I've been paying attention to. It just is digital transformation. It's mostly just like Mara's in it, Riot are all in it, so it bounced off support at kind of the same time that what's it called? Mara was breaking out. GBCI and then GNTX. GNTX, I'm not too sure what we're going to get there as far as how liquid the option chain is, but I'm just going to throw it in there. You do have a decent size falling wedge right here. So I'll add that one in there. And then what else are we talking about? I don't know what else I just said. RMBS. So we have RMBS and GBCI. GBCI is a regional bank one. Yeah, nothing there. And then RMBS. It's not RMBS. That looks pretty good to me. It had that retest. This one paid really good today. And then you have this resistance here at 60.5. So it will probably provide another opportunity to get in if you get a rejection of this resistance. And you're safe as long as it's above this lower trend line. So that's going to be it from that. And then I'll just go ahead and go through. I'll usually do this if I'm looking for like quick trades. I'm just going to go through the 30 minutes real quick and just see if we have any short setups that I can play in the morning. These I can go through real quick. So I'm looking for mainly with these, something like this. So Meta has a nice, I'm guessing 15-minute. And when you look at something like this, it's a very small setup. Let's see, it was bull flagging the last 2 hours of the day. So I'm just going to add that, and that's something that right at the open, if this doesn't gap up or gap down, that's going to be a play that I'm going to be looking for that initial candle to break out, especially with how strong tech was today. Meta's always been a leader, so that's something that I'll look for in that first kind of just first candle of the day. Not looking at you'll get some fake outs with those just because it's a very small setup and relative to the chart. So I'm not looking for too much. I'm not going to play Tesla. QQQ at highs. AI is a name that I would really like to start getting hot soon. That would be a fun one. CRM doesn't have a bad setup. We followed that daily. I'm not going to, but it's okay. Disney was bouncing today. This is just like my overall, just like top large caps that I'll literally just do this every night. I just take a brief look at it. I've already kind of looked at their dailies. I didn't really see much that stood out. I think I already have enough names on my watch list. I'm not going to go through any of these banks. So I do think we added 3 or 4 names, and especially with low volume coming up, I don't think there's any need to really scan extensively tonight. This weekend I'll do a pretty extensive scan because I'm going to scan for weekly charts, so I'll live record that one. CVX I like that. I think that's one of the better oil ones you're going to get right now. I know oil didn't print the best daily candle, but CVX has this kind of thing going on, and we just saw it that hourly, I guess. So I'll add this to the watch list. I don't mind that on the hourly play. You got a little wedge forming right there. We'll go ahead and add that. Oil plays have been super just kind of off the last month, kind of all year. They've kind of just been really disappointing. I guess we'll cut it there. Actually, I'm gonna check one thing. I'm gonna check how Cat did today. I'm not gonna add that. Okay, so I'm gonna post that in the Discord. These are names that I think you have pretty actionable setups on. It's a common trend with them. Most of them are green for the day because I like those candles. They are red. It's probably because I'm not looking to play them right away. I think there's plenty of setups out there. I would say the best ones are probably TDT, Cores, I really like, and Marvel is going to be a good one down the stretch. TME is a really good one. Carts I really like, and I think TXM will pay on a retest. So I hope you guys follow along. Hopefully this wasn't too long, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.